And today, in this video, I'm going to go over my 6 tips. Frank. What's up guys, Joseph Rakic here from josephrakicfitness.com, and today in this video I'm going to go over my 6 tips to losing fat. Now we're going to get straight into this video and we're going to start off with tip number 1, which is the most important. Now 99% of you probably already know this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. And tip number 1 is make sure that you eat in a calorie deficit, which means consuming less calories than what you burn on a daily basis. Less calories in your TDEE, which stands for your total daily energy expenditure, which basically means the total amount of calories that you burn on a daily basis from everything you do, through just being alive, your body, operating, moving, your gym workouts, walking to your car, going to the supermarket, includes everything. Now let's just say, for example, everyone's different, but let's just say your maintenance calorie intake, or your TDEE, was 3,000 calories. This means if you consume 3,000 calories, you don't gain any weight and you don't lose any weight. Now, if this was your maintenance and you consume less than this, then you would be in a calorie deficit. If you're in a calorie deficit and you stay consistent, you are then short on energy. If you're short on energy, your body has to get the energy from elsewhere. That elsewhere is your stored body fat. And if you stay consistent long enough in a calorie deficit, your body eats your body fat as a source of energy, and you get leaner and leaner and leaner over time. Now, the types of food that you consume when you are cutting doesn't matter. For example, you can have steak, you can have potato, you can have carbohydrates. It doesn't have to be a keto diet, but what matters is consuming less than what you burn. And like I said, if you can do this, you will lose fat. And that is literally the number 1, the most important tip when it comes to fat loss. Anyway, tip number 2 is make sure that you consume enough protein. Now, you can consume protein from whole foods, your chicken, your fish, steak, eggs, etc., etc. But it is very hard to consume enough protein from whole foods. So if that is the case and you struggle consuming enough protein, I recommend supplementing with protein powders. Any brand is fine. The 2 brands that I use are Optimum Nutrition or EHP Labs Isopept. Now, when it comes to my protein recommendations, I recommend and I advise 1 gram of protein per pound of your lean body weight. So, for example, if you're 170 pounds of lean body weight, I would say 170 grams of protein per day in order to maintain your muscle. And if you can't get enough from whole foods, then supplement with protein powder. Now, if your protein is too low and you are in a calorie deficit, then what's going to happen? You are going to end up losing, yes, body fat because you're in a deficit, but you're also going to end up losing muscle tissue. So you're going to lose weight from fat and muscle, and that's not ideal, obviously, because we want to maintain our muscle, we want to grow our muscle and lose body fat only. So it's super important when you are dieting and you are in a deficit to keep your protein intake high. Put the recommendations up on the screen right there. So make sure you remember that and make sure you hit your recommendations. Tip number 3, we're back in the kitchen. Not that we left the kitchen or anything, but tip number 3 is do not drop calories too quickly. So what a lot of people do is they are in their bulking phase. They're consuming a lot of calories, let's just say 3,500 calories per day, and then they decide to cut. So what do? They go into a super low calorie diet. Sometimes they just remove all the carbohydrates, not go on keto, they just remove all the carbohydrates, and their calories go down super low. Let's just say, for example, 1,500 calories. So what happens? Yes, it's a huge deficit. So yes, they do lose fat, but because it's such a huge deficit, they also lose muscle. But the biggest problem I see here is lowering calories too quick is you run out of room to move. When you lower calories too quick and you go right down super low, your body wants to adapt to that low calorie intake. Because we need to understand and we need to remember that the human body doesn't want to lose body fat. The human body doesn't want to look good for the beach or look good for the pool. The human body wants to store body fat because essentially it is a survival mechanism for ourselves when we're short on food. So when we lower calories right down and we're only consuming 1,500 calories per day from a 3,500 calorie diet, it basically signals to the body, okay, we're not getting much food, we're only getting this amount of calories per day. We don't want to starve to death. So the body will try and do whatever it can to not lose fat. So it'll slow its metabolism down, it'll slow its metabolic rate down, it'll lower its fat burning hormones and do everything possible to try and maintain its weight on 1,500 calories. So what ends up happening is you hit a plateau, you can't lose any more weight, you can't lose any more fat. So then how do you lose more fat from there? You have to decrease calories even further, which is not a good place to be at. Because when calories get too low, your hunger goes crazy, your cravings kick in, and you end up binging. And because your body wants to store that body fat, that's exactly what your body's going to do. So the most important thing is do not lower calories too quickly. Make slow adjustments and decrease over time. Tip number 4, pretty much the same thing. It is increase your cardio over time. Now, at home, I've got my own treadmill, I've got my own cardio machine. Not that I'm doing cardio at the moment, but when I am in a fat loss phase, I will do some cardio every morning to help me lose body fat and to help me get leaner. But the most crucial thing when it comes to cardio is to increase it over time. So when I start my fat loss phase, I'm not going to start off by doing an hour of cardio every single day. Because same with the diet, when you decrease your calories right away, your body adapts. So if I start off with an hour of cardio per day, my body's going to get used to that, my body's going to adapt, and that's going to become my new normal. Because the body wants to reach homeostasis. So if I'm doing an hour of cardio per day, the body gets used to that and I can't lose any more fat. So what do? I start off with the minimum amount of cardio that I can that still produces fat loss. So for example, I might be doing cardio 3 times per week, 20 minutes per day. When fat loss stalls, I will then increase the cardio to 4 times per week, 20 minutes a day. Then 5 times and 6 times, 20 minutes per day. Then when it stalls again, I can increase the time up to 30 minutes per day, then 40, then 50, then 60. So over time, I am making these adjustments and increasing cardio over time. So basically what I'm trying to say is don't start off with the maximum amount of cardio and don't start off with lowering calories super low, because you just cut yourself short and then you've got nowhere to move. All right, and that brings me to tip number 5, and that is make the process enjoyable. Now the reason this is so important and the reason a lot of people fall off their diet and they fall off their training program is because they don't make the process enjoyable. They follow a diet that they don't enjoy. They eat foods they don't like. They do workouts they don't enjoy. They do cardio they don't enjoy. So what ends up happening? You build a negative relationship with that diet and with that training, all trying to get your dream physique. But if you don't enjoy it and you don't enjoy the process, you're not truly going to be able to stick to it and get the results that you want. Now, you don't have to do cardio on a treadmill. I do cardio on a treadmill because that's what I enjoy. I can do an incline walk, I can have my laptop in front of me, and I can watch and listen to a podcast on training and nutrition or something else. But if you don't like doing cardio on a treadmill, if you find that boring, you don't have to. Maybe you could go swimming. Maybe you could play basketball with your mates. Maybe you could play tennis with your mates. Maybe you could play touch rugby or football or something. As long as you're moving, as long as you're active, you can be burning calories. So make sure whatever you do, you enjoy it. You don't have to eat chicken and broccoli for every single meal. You have to consume a calorie deficit, which is true, but just make sure you're consuming foods that you like. For example, when I'm dieting, I eat the foods that I love. If I'm on the keto diet, I'm eating bacon, eggs, salmon, steak, butter. If I'm on a non-keto diet, I'm eating protein powder, oats, berries. I'm eating steak and sweet potato. I'm eating tuna and rice, which all foods that I love and enjoy. So that makes my diet enjoyable and I stick to it. I'm also training in a way that I enjoy. I enjoy my bodybuilder splits. But if you enjoy CrossFit or if you enjoy high intensity calorie burning workouts, do that. Because if you enjoy it, you will stick to it. And if you stick to it, you're going to get results. And that also leads me on to my sixth and final tip. And it is probably the most important tip there is out of all of the tips, and that is stay consistent. And consistency is literally the biggest factor in getting the results that you want. Most people, they follow a diet and they follow a training program for 2 or 4 weeks and they don't see the results that they want, so they fall off it. And when they fall off, they go back the other way, they get unmotivated and they don't make any progress. So, and the cameraman's looking at me with a funny face because that sounds like him. But in January 1st, he's actually starting his diet, which was something we're gonna document through this YouTube series. But back to my point, tip number 6, consistency is so important. And you just have to trust the process. So come out with your plan, stick to that plan, stay consistent, trust the process, and just understand and realize that time is going to pass regardless. And if you can stick to something for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, the results are going to be insane. But it just takes you to be able to commit, to be able to stay dedicated, and to you to stay consistent with the plan. Now, if you're not sure what your plan should be, if you're not sure how much protein, carbs, fats you should be eating, if you're not sure what the kind of workout you should be doing, if you're not sure the type of cardio you should be doing and you need help, I would love to help you. I'm an online personal trainer. I've helped over 140,000 people all around the world get into the best shape of their life. So if you need help building muscle, losing body fat, getting lean, getting shredded, getting ripped for the beach, getting ripped for the pool, whatever it is, I would love to help you. All you need to do is click the link below this video and you can join the JRF Shred program. And I can guarantee I'll get you into the best shape of your life. And if you're not happy or satisfied for any reason at all, I'll give you 100% money back guarantee. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the videos on my channel for more great content. See you next video, guys.